Why don't we talk about Superman? Because Superman, the
Yes.
premiere, after months and months of highly anticipated debut, the premiere was finally yesterday, and the premiere was flooded with, some critics, but also a lot of just people who have been standing for this movie for the past several months or years. And predictably, I can't believe that this is what the headlines say, Jay. I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you, that this is the big headline. Superman first reactions say film soars as a thrilling start to James Gunn's DC universe. David Corenswet is exceptional, sharing off-the-charts chemistry with Rachel Brosnahan. And the reason I said that I'm not really surprised that these are the headlines is because, we see this song and dance quite often. You don't have to go back that far for DC movies. The Flash first reactions call it one of the best superhero movies ever. The Flash first reactions call Ezra Miller film tremendous, as good as rumored. Here's what people are saying about DC's long-awaited superhero event of the summer. And it is very tough in this day and age to take too much of these first reactions seriously, because so many of these people are just influencers who are invited there to hype the movie, and that's what they're doing, is hyping the movie. And if that's your thing, and if you're cool with it, then go for it.
Here's the thing with these influencers. We've cracked the code a few years ago. Every time they tweet out something, they got two things that they normally use. Number one, they use the hashtag. They say they love it. Pretty much the same talking point. And then they always add like a GIF picture or a still from the film. It's the same thing. Like if you go to hashtag Superman and just scroll through it, when you start to see the reviews, it's literally the same thing. It's like, this is this. Here's the hashtag. There's the GIF. Let's move on to the next one. Here's the hashtag. Here's the GIF. Or it's still from the movie. Here's the next one. It's like, they're told to set that up that way when they post it on their social media. So
this is the new kind of normal, right? Invite all these people that are going to glaze the film and try to get this tremendous, influencer word of mouth. The question is, how effective will that be? We've seen the same thing from Marvel over the years. We've seen the same thing from Warner Brothers and DC. The truth is, when you start looking through some of these reviews beyond just the random, I can't believe I have 3,000 followers and have been tweeting consistently about this movie, and now I'm invited to premiere. Those types of things. When you looking into them, they are a little bit mixed. There is some, I feel like this movie is going to be very divisive. I think people are going to love it, and I think people are going to hate it. I don't think there's going to be too much in the middle. And when you actually start looking into them, it is very mixed. Beyond the stuff that the Superman account is posting or that is being, propped up by that stuff, it is incredibly mixed. And the reason I say it's hard to take some of this stuff seriously is, you have Eric Davis, Fandango, and Rotten Tomatoes here. James Gunn's Superman is the perfect superhero movie and a terrific start to the new DC studios. It's big, bright, exciting, full of hope, never loses sense of wonder, loved it, blah, blah, blah. A big review of this movie. DC is back. All I got to do is go to his Flash review that he deleted. He deleted this before he went to Superman, probably because he thought people were going to share it. And this is what he said about.
Sure enough.
This is what he said about The Flash. DC's The Flash is tremendous. Forget DC. It is without a doubt among the best superhero films ever made. An all-timer, inventive storytelling, fantastic, right? And look, that does not mean that he didn't feel that way about The Flash genuinely, and he doesn't feel that way about Superman genuinely. But man, why you delete this? Yeah. Why'd you delete your review of this before you come out and say basically the same thing about Superman? Like, that's what has people questioning this type of shit.
And there it is, the hashtag and the movie still. It's like, it's what they do, man.
Yeah. And people are going to have different opinions just because one review leaks about somebody saying, wow, this is trash. And then one review leaks of somebody saying this is the best movie in the world. People have different opinions on movies. We understand that. But if you just read a couple of the big headlines, you think, wow, everyone's saying perfect things about this. Not exactly the case. And it's not surprising that we did have overwhelming positivity from the influencers who were invited to go there, who have been part of marketing this. That Soups guy, the dude who glazes every Superman thing that's ever been made and every superhero film that's ever made, who is literally part of the marketing for this movie and was on set for this movie. Do you expect him to come out and say, wow, this sucks?
Yeah, no. Not even mid. I expect him to say this is. I expect him to be one of those people that go online and go, "We won, we won, everybody, we won." I was like, "What the freak does that even mean?" You saw a movie that they paid you to go see, and you're like, "We won, everybody, we won." What did you win? What did you win? I don't understand that comment. We won. I don't get it. Should I start using that now? Hey, we won. What did you win? I don't know.
I'm not sure yet. During the premiere, Mark Malkin, always a big presence there. Mark Malkin, is this the gayest comic book movie ever? Right, that guy. He gets people to say things that they probably shouldn't. That's what Mark Malkin is very good at. And we got some clips yesterday because obviously the interview from James Gunn saying, yes, it's political, talking about how it's an immigration story, stuff like this, obviously got out there, got blown up big time. I do think that there are some people that were overblowing it on more like mainstream news, but nevertheless, it is 100% a story. This headline's a little misleading. James Gunn, Nathan Fillion, and more on MAGA outrage over director saying Superman is an immigrant. I don't have anything to say to anybody spreading hate. It's not exactly what James Gunn said, but we can listen. So this is James Gunn's response, and this is the same question that Mark Malkin, the gay dude from Variety who asks all these types of questions, the same dude who got Rachel Zegler to say some things about Snow White on the red carpet, right? The same dude who always does this stuff. These are bait questions. I think James Gunn answers it okay. I can't really say the same thing for his brother, but let's listen.
You said it's an immigrant story. It's a political movie. MAGA today is going nuts. What do you have to say to MAGA?
MAGA?
I think this movie's for everybody. I don't have anything to say to anybody. Like I'm not here to judge people, you know. I think this is a movie about kindness, and I think that's something everyone can relate to.
Wait, MAGA's going nuts?
Yes, that was the
freak of MAGA's going nuts.
That was the question that was offered to every single person that walked by Mark Malkin about MAGA going nuts. There's Rachel Brosnahan in the background there. Might end up being my favorite character from the movie, regardless of how well she acts. But yes, MAGA is going nuts about this, and we had this repeated multiple times. Sean Gunn is the one who I think gave the longest response.
Your boss, your brother, talked about Superman being an immigrant. And now MAGA is already upset that he's called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
My reaction to that is that it is exactly what the movie is about. I think that, like, we support our people, we love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant. And yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants. And if you don't like that, then you're not American. People who say no to immigrants are against the American way. They're against what the American dream is all about.
Truth, justice, and the American way.
Absolutely.
The thing we removed from this movie.
Why does that guy sound like he's been gurgling a bunch of stuff before he does these interviews? What the heck is wrong with his voice? Was that guy eating his own private hot dog before he went out on the stage and asked people these dumb questions about MAGA?
That's just
outrage?
how Mark Malkin talks, like an old gay man who's taken a lot of cock down his throat. Like that is just kind of that's his voice. Always has been. But
the American way is about loving our illegal immigrants.
Yeah, and
Got it.
That is the thing, that there's this discussion going on about immigration and trying to compare this to current modern day immigration. That's what they've done. They're trying to make an immigrant story. That's what they've admitted to. The problem is the discussions, the arguments we're talking about here, it's not some story of somebody, filling out their fucking application, waiting a couple years and coming into this country and assimilating in this country. We're talking about waves of illegal immigrants, right? This is what we're talking about. And the idea that the story of Superman, a baby from another planet who crash lands in the middle of America and is taken as a little tiny baby and raised as an American and completely assimilated in the culture and all of these things, unaware initially that he's anybody else, that he's from anywhere else, all that stuff. The idea that correlates to the modern type of immigration, like controversies that are out there right now, is nonsensical.
Yeah,
and
it's
this is what you
stupid.
have when you have somebody who's asking bait questions and somebody who steps right into the trap, which is saying, if you don't agree with our viewpoint, you're not
Yeah.
American. If you don't agree with how we feel about our immigrants, you could just tell that this motherfucker wanted to say, you know, the people who mow our lawns, the people who pick our crops, the people who clean our toilets. You could tell that's what he wanted to fucking say.
Yeah.
But he held back. He's kind of stumbled over his words there.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion was asked as well. A very short response from him.
Oh, James has said that Superman is an immigrant story, that it is political. MAGA today was getting a little upset that he called Superman an immigrant. I wanted to get your reaction.
Somebody needs a hug. It's just a movie, guys. It's just a movie.
Nice.
There's Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner. I think of all the people, James Gunn handled it the best, right?
Yeah.
I think James Gunn handled it the best. Now, again, it was James Gunn's, you know, comments and what it was at the Sunday Times that then got put out, all the different headlines and stuff. This is a result of James Gunn admitting to some of these things that are in the movie. That's why this is a headline. Now, Mark Malkin's blowing it out of proportion so he can ask a question that he knows will get views. And look, he's getting views because, of course, this is what Mark Malkin does. But you also have to know when to fall for the trap and when to let it fly. James Gunn, despite his comments being the ones that got them here, he did not fall for the bait that Mark Malkin gave him on the red carpet. His brother did.
It's all they have left, man, to like, no matter what, it's always Trump's fault, MAGA's fault, whatever. That those are the people that are mad. Basically, like, go watch this movie if you hate Donald Trump. It's so freaking weird. These journalists and people from Hollywood are they just live in a weird bubble. They don't understand the real world or how it works or how people even think. It's like, why that is the of all questions that, of course, like you said, he've asked. I'm surprised he didn't ask if this is the gayest Superman ever. Maybe we missed that question because that guy loves illegal aliens. He loves gays in this country. I guess that's the country that he wants to see. So he's going to use his platform to try to push that messaging, and hopefully he can get some of the biggest people in Hollywood to agree with him and say the same thing. So I guess he feels like he did his patriotic duty in his job. What a retard. Sorry.
Look, Mark Malkin is an expert at this, right? He knows exactly the types of clips that will get them clicks and headlines and stuff. And that he goes up and he says, is this the gayest Marvel show ever? Right? If it's a Star Wars project, what he knows what to say. That he he knows that a lot of people are going to fall for the bait and it's going to get attention. And it worked in some cases in this way. Again, when it comes to the Superman reviews, I'm seeing it later. I'm seeing it tonight at 7 p.m., something like that. That's when I'm going to see it. I feel like I'm actually going into this in a good state because I don't know if I could feel more. I don't know if I could feel less invested in the movie in general, right?
Right.
I don't hate it as much as we've seen some people on out there like hating all of the fucking marketing. But it also, I feel almost nothing when I see it. There's almost nothing that I'm like, wow, that gets me excited. That gets me intrigued. I think that looks cool. Almost nothing. So I'm going in very neutral. So it means I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm not going to be overhyped or nothing. I'm just going to go see it and we'll see what it does. I hope that I feel the same way as all these glazing influencers who shilled for this movie for months to be invited to premiere. I hope that I feel that, oh my gosh, this is incredible and amazing. I don't think I will, but we'll see.
I mean, it's like this guy asks these questions and then you see these dumb posts that show up that get like look at this. Do you mind if I share this?
Yeah.
It's just, you're right. This is just for clicks and giggles, man. Like the MAGA idiots realizing Superman is an immigrant is effing hilarious. The dude gets 358,000 views on this. You know, he actually has a big account following and he's followed by dude wipes. How could they? But yeah, it's like, I don't know. Like this is such a weird talking point to me that they want to turn a Superman movie into such a political weirdness like that as a jab against people that support President Trump. It's like they're running out of things to take a jab at people that support Trump. So now let's make it about the Superman film to get them all upset and riled. I didn't see, like, honestly, unless they did it something on like a news network, I didn't really see any MAGA people like mad at Superman. Like I didn't see that.
Well, look, there was a lot of this does happen when sometimes these things blow over. There were a lot of the standard political. You saw it during the Rachel Zegler stuff and things like that too. Sometimes things go across this
Right.
streams, and there were a lot of political talking heads talking about that specific interview. It's about politics. Fox News did an entire segment on it. Like there was.
Oh, Fox News did. So
their
that's
like headline was like
okay.
super woke and stuff like that. So there was a lot of discussion about it yesterday, including from some people that you could describe as, big right wingers or whatever. But to equate it to a MAGA meltdown over Superman, I don't know if that was exactly the case.
I think it's quite silly, but no matter what do you think of this? You think this stuff is real? This is just like, is the bot army in full effect? Like with this kind of stuff? Have you seen these things out there that people are collecting all these tweets?
Well,
about the Superman film, and like they all say the same thing.
So the thing is, that's actually a direct copy paste of Grace Randolph's Randolph's tweet that she sent out about it. And look, a lot of people assume that, well, this must just be Warner Brothers buying bots. One thing people fail to recognize is that a lot of the bots that exist, and there's a fucking million bots out there, what they want is just engagement. What they want are people clicking on things, but that's what they want. So if they see things that are blowing up, or they'll make replies to things that are blowing up in order to try to get the most views that they possibly can. So whether that's Warner Brothers bots specifically, or just random ones that are trying to get interaction, who fucking knows? But yeah, those are copy pasted from Grace Randolph's tweet.
Maybe they'll sell crypto.
Crypto.
Yes, exactly.
They should have launched a crypto.
A crypto coin.
How could they not?